Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Movie Social. We're your hosts, Rick and Steph. Today, we are going to be doing a spoiler review on the Netflix series Away. And basically, just a quick rundown of it. It's about a astronaut who has a husband who works for NASA, and she is going on a 3-year trip to Mars. First, they're going to land on the moon, and they are going to go from the moon to Mars.
They're journeying where no soul has ever gone before.
Yeah. And this show, series has definitely its twists and turns, pulls on your heartstrings, it makes you angry.
Yo, that first episode alone.
Yeah, so
I'm
not going to dive deep into it.
Yeah, but you know, the husband technically is also an astronaut too. This was supposed to be his mission actually, until they found out he is diagnosed with the same disease that his father has.
Yes. That
prevents him from going into space because of the risk. And episode 1 proves that.
Yep. So pretty much, what happens while she's away? Like she has a loving family, her husband and her daughter. They have a lovely one last hurrah together. Dinner and all of the good stuff. Obviously some love making, because if you're gonna be gone for 3 years, get in where you fit in. Yeah. And as soon as she leaves, shit goes haywire.
Yep. They on the moon. Husband has a stroke, with the daughter being there, which made it even worse.
Yep.
And the daughter can't easily talk to the mother. Of course, they do get the mother on the phone and all. She's basically hysterical, because they already had an incident on the moon at the same time. Mm-hmm. Had a fire on a ship, and half the crew is blaming her as being their captain commander, and the other half is
saying that she did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't her fault for the fire. Well, the initial chemical fire, it was her fault for making it worse.
Initial chemical spill.
Yeah, but the leak.
Yes.
And letting it out wasn't her fault. It had to be the black guy though. It had to be the black guy. But he's played a lot too.
But so it takes off from there. Like, you think it gets better? Oh no, it gets worse. You have issues with the
water filtration. Well,
that's further down. But you have the first issue they had was part of the I can't remember, of the ship wouldn't expand, so they had to actually do a spacewalk.
Not necessarily the whole ship. It was more so the solar panels.
Yeah,
that
solar
powered the ship that they need.
They had 3 of them, and one of them wouldn't expand. So they had to do a spacewalk. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was her first spacewalk.
Yep.
And she had to go out there with someone who actually didn't really see eye to eye with her, and do the spacewalk. And after the spacewalk, he actually garners a lot of respect from her.
Yeah. Because he couldn't actually go as far all the way out there at first, because there was a greater risk.
Yes.
And so she had to do it.
She goes out there,
get stuck.
Yo, and then you think, okay, it's gonna go, good for them. They're smooth selling from after that. Nope. Then you got just relationship issues with the people on the ship. Then she also has to deal with issues with people at home. The situation with her daughter and
the whole cast had issues, honestly. Yes. Because then you had the Chinese representative who was having a secret relationship-ish with one of the other 8 Chinese NASA agents that was there.
Yeah, so they were just in love. They didn't have any type
mind
of...
you, she's married with a husband and child, and of course, China tends to frown upon all of this stuff. They think they're so uppity up. Yeah. Which I also hate that for all these governments.
Then you also find out that the Russian guy, he doesn't have a good relationship with his daughter,
which is partially his fault, because his wife died and he went back into space.
Yeah, and
this is not his first time out there.
And then you find out that one of the other characters on the
botanist,
he's adopted.
Yeah, because his parents were killed. He's African, matter of fact. His parents were killed
by dehydration, right? I believe it was dehydration, because
I think it was either dehydration or they were shot and killed, and his adopted father died of dehydration.
So somebody passed away from dehydration.
He had a lot of death.
Yes.
Because
And then the crazy part happens. Oh my God! When
the doctor also, the doctor that was on the ship, his brother died, who also wanted to be an astronaut, and the death of his brother caused him and his parents basically not to really speak or be that close anymore.
But let's talk about
crazy,
like the crazy things that happen. One of the crazy things that happened, minus the fire, is when the botanist is like he's like climbing, and he hits his foot on the ladder, and like all people, we like, yo, ouch, that hurt. So you're gonna go look at if you bruise yourself or if you cutting blood. So I'm pretty sure he was just checking to see if he bruised himself.
Yeah, took off
the sock. The whole half of his foot, bottom,
his heels just came
flying off, and he was
whoa,
like,
I wasn't expecting this.
It was disgusting, but yet amusing at the very same time. Then the water system fails.
Well, not even that. Before the water system even failed, you had the doctor getting sick.
Yes.
With a disease that's very rare.
It was mono.
Yeah.
It was a certain strand of mono.
Yeah, it was very rare, but highly contagious to the point where anybody else on this ship can get it. And then it didn't end there. Not only that, that he had it and he had to quarantine. He tries to get up off his bed and cuts himself to a big gash where he can't patch it himself. And they're not supposed to go in there to help him.
Yep, but they have those choices.
But then they went in there. I'm like, it just
when the Russian guy stapled his back together, that was funny. It wasn't funny, it was crazy.
He didn't want to go in there at all because he was against going in there.
Then you have the Russian guy who's actually going blind.
Yeah, at the same time as the water filtration system and their water system altogether breaks down. First you had the main one breaks down, and then the Russian mechanical engineer tries to act like he's not going blind and says, well, let's strip the backup for parts and repair the original. And by him being blind, messes it up even worse, and the original one is completely destroyed. So they have to try and patch up the backup as best they can. Mm-hmm. And eventually the backup fails because of all this.
Yeah, and meanwhile they're trying to ration the water. And then you have the commander who is saving one plant because she's using her ration water to plant, to feed the plant, while she's basically having like these meltdowns because she's dehydrating herself.
Mm-hmm. She's not thinking straight. None of
Meanwhile, let's just flip all the way to all the BS crap that's going back at home as she's finding out. Her daughter is acting up a little bit because she's away. She was wilding. This is a black parent. Belts would have been off. Wheelchair and all. But you have that issue, and then the dad is trying to get better, but he's also see that it's hurting his daughter. So she was having issues with the family back at home. Daughter was acting out. Just being a butthole of a child. It's sad because you understand, but at the end of the day, the way she was acting and how she was handling things, not talking to her father, sneaking out, dating this boy, and the father didn't have an issue with you dating with him, but he wanted you to let him know.
He had an issue after she rode the
motorbike after he told her not to,
and hurt herself, and he felt that it might have been a serious injury. Like, turns out it wasn't too bad, all things considered. Thought she might have been paralyzed.
And what really sucks to me, and I blame the daughter for this wholeheartedly, 1,000%. She didn't tell her dad that she didn't tell her boyfriend that he said that she couldn't, and she didn't also tell her dad that I was the one. He didn't force me. He didn't tell me I should get on there.
Well, no, she eventually told him all that, though.
But I'm talking about at that time.
Yeah, after a while she told him.
Which sucked because it made it like the guy was the bad guy.
Well, the part that Dad really got pissed off about him was after all that happened and the guy basically ghosted her after a while. But we eventually later found out about why.
Yeah.
Was because it made him start feeling about things when his dad went missing and all that good old stuff. But all in all, to me it was great because eventually they did land on Mars after all this adversity.
Yeah.
And almost had a crash landing almost, but wound up landing safely.
With the water thing and them having to get the what is it, water turning into ice and them attracting the water over to
Yeah,
the.
from outside the wall of the ship because the ship is coated with water all along it to keep the radiation out, which is not a bad idea
Mm-hmm.
to help with radiation. But yeah, everything went wrong there. And mind you, this is just the beginning of their trip.
Yeah, they just landed in
on
Mars.
They still have to be there for a whole another 2 years and 4 months because it was 8 months that it took them to get there.
Okay.
Which is wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But to me, this seems like this could be Netflix's answer to Amazon buying Expanse. I mean, I thought at first, Lost in Space would be that, but since Netflix is canceling that after the 3rd season, which Netflix, you guys need to stop canceling shows. Can we get a long-lived series on Netflix? That's a good one. And stop canceling all the good shows and keeping these crappy movies out. We didn't need a Case of Move 3.
But this series is pretty good though.
Yeah, can we get a sequel, please, Netflix?
Season 2. If they're gonna season 2, that's gonna be wild. Cause I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's things that's gonna happen while they're on Mars.
Yeah, can we? No, don't make it futuristic where we have.
If I see an alien,
I was about to say no, but then at the same time, we don't know what's on Mars. In reality,
We don't.
It could be one.
if I see an alien,
Because technically, aliens, by definition, does not mean they have to be a creature from another planet, stuff like that, looking all wild.
it
and
could just be
green. They
another
could
life form.
Yeah, anything that's another life form that's not from where you're from. Technically,
True.
people that come from other countries are aliens to the United States, technically,
You're absolutely correct.
and vice versa from the United States to other countries. But who knows what they're going to do with this series? Will it be one and done? Will it be another one? Only the Netflix higher ups know about that, and I'm hoping they give it another nod because you've greenlit so many other things and canceled so many good shows. Where at some point you're going to have nothing. And I mean, you owe us all this after Cuties, which we're never going to review. We're never going to watch.
Oh man. No,
Anyway.
But anyway, yeah.
Let us know what you think about this space adventure series on Netflix. Do you like it? Do you hope there's another season? Let us know what you thought about it all in the comments below. And until next time.